2 decades of severe weather experience here for you when it counts. This is Doc Deason's Weather, live now.
Well, good morning, everybody. We are coming up on 7:09. We've got tornado warning active for folks in Van Zandt County and Henderson County as storms continue to shove to the south and are once again doing some interesting things on the radar. The Weather Service had tornado warnings out earlier for folks a little bit further upstream and right along the leading edge of this line. We're seeing these circulations get themselves going, and that is what has prompted this warning that we've got in place right now. So here's the radar. The warning includes folks in Van Zandt County as well as northwestern Henderson County. Haven't seen anything as far as visual confirmation on this, but it is something that looks rather impressive on the radar. And so with that being said, Weather Service goes ahead and issues these warnings. And there's quite a bit of damage potential with this, with the hail in there and the straight line winds as well. So several different things to kind of keep the eye on. I know it's early. We got the tornado watch box out until I think for folks in those western counties. That would include you guys in Van Zandt County, Rains County, Henderson, and Anderson counties right now. Debbie, good morning to you. Calm in Grand Saline, just some thunder. Okay, good. You got the showers and storms that are going to impact you guys there in Grand Saline are still off to the west of you. But here again, here's what the radar looks like. So let's get a little bit tighter in on this, and hopefully be able to throw some towns and communities in place that will be more significant to you. Emery, you guys there, showers and thunderstorms off to the west of y'all right now. This is the main line. The leading edge of this is going to be where we'll kind of be more focused on for severe weather impacts. There's going to be a heck of an outflow on the front side of this. That's going to blow pretty good, and that's going to have the potential to do some, I would say probably 60 to maybe even as high as 70 to 75 mile an hour winds in there, depending on where you happen to be in relation to some of these stronger winds, which are probably going to be situated down here further into Van Zandt County, and especially coming into northern Henderson County, northwestern Henderson County. So all of this generally moving kind of to the south, southeast, I guess is probably a better way to put it. Yeah, Weather Service also saying southeast at about 35. So up to golf ball sized hail in these storms in a couple of spots. Mainly that's going to be for this area back over towards Oak Ridge. You can see kind of that purplish shading in there, west of Wills Point, southwest of Wills Point, and then another pocket of a little bit better hail potential down probably just south of Kemp. So that's you've got that potential in place. And then also we've got what looked interesting from circulation related to possibly a tornado. That's going to be this area back in here. Probably I would say best of that is going to be over extreme western Kaufman County right now, or eastern Kaufman County. But a lot of wind in this regardless. You can see again all these reds and kind of that beige coloring there, indicating winds that are blowing away from the radar site there in Fort Worth. We're looking at the Fort Worth site here, so that's all rushing out away from the radar site there in Fort Worth. But it's doing so at a really fast clip. So that's 70 to 75 mile an hour wind. The reason I was kind of speculating on that. Let's put the little tool over in this. Kind of give us a bit of an idea. So 60 to 70, 65 to 70 in this area here. Now, not all of this is going to reach the ground, but I have seen reports of some overturned, I saw overturned 18-wheeler back over into, I think it was back towards Forney, Terrell area from earlier when this thing came through. So there's a lot of wind that is getting down to the ground in here. So if not all of it is making it, a good portion of it has, at least based on some of the things that we're seeing back off to the west. So something just to be mindful of. Again, if you're just hopping on, we've got tornado warning active for our neighbors in Van Zandt County and Henderson County. So that's going to run here for a bit longer. I think maybe 7:30 is the expiration time on that. Look at that here. Yeah, till 7:30. And it looks like Weather Service and Storm Prediction Center is also going to run with a new severe thunderstorm watch, which is going to take in probably a good chunk of East Texas until around lunchtime today. So that's just now starting to come out as well. And I'm not sure if we've had some kind of a slowdown in some of our cell phone activity as well, because this warning did not come through, at least on my end, like it normally does. So that may have some kind of, may help to explain some of this stuff here. But again, 7:14 coming up on 7:15. We'll hang here with this while the tornado warning is in place for a bit. Hopefully be able to get that to settle down somewhat. We did have another tornado warning earlier on in the morning hours back further to the west. That circulation dissipated, and so they've maintained some kind of severe thunderstorm warning though for quite a while with the leading edge of this thing as it runs from northwest to southeast. You can see kind of the general trend over the last little bit. And that wind was the main concern for quite a while, along with some embedded hail in that. Nothing doing, at least in the Tyler area for the moment. Had some folks asking about that. This is really the main show per se right now. A lot of flooding out here. This green, kind of this green outline here back towards the Metroplex, indicative of a flash flood warning. And not hard to believe, that's a lot of rain to come through that area. There is an immense amount of moisture in the atmosphere right now, and that's what made it feel so uncomfortable yesterday, so humid. So if you can squeeze that out of the atmosphere, you're going to get a lot of rain underneath it. Thanks, Janice. Glad you're here as well. Let's see what else we've got here. So I had a measured wind speed of 50 miles an hour reported in Maybank earlier. So that helps to confirm some of that wind. Quarter size tail, Kaufman, in Kemp, rather just north of Kemp, Kaufman County. Overturned 18-wheeler, yeah. So again, these winds, when this thing comes out, comes across, I was noticing this too when we were looking at the storm damage from the Coffee City area earlier on. A lot of that wind is going to have to do, or is going to affect you if you're in some type of a high profile situation like an RV or an 18-wheeler, something like that, mobile home. A lot of that, the worst of those effects, it can happen depending on how you are related to the wind direction as it's coming across. When we're out chasing storms, we always want to have our vehicle pointed into the wind versus the wind sweeping across the side of the vehicle and getting it loose and potentially tipping it over. So it's always kind of interesting to see how that plays in with larger profile vehicles like 18-wheelers and or those RVs and things like that. If we can position that vehicle or that object a little bit better to where it's not exactly being blown across by the wind, sometimes that can help to keep things right side up versus wrong side up, so to speak. Yeah, well, probably a good idea to hold off on that for now, I think. As far as anything, again, let's get back and look at what we have on the velocity products. The I mean, there's still definitely going to be some circulation there, probably along the Kaufman-Van Zandt County line. Um, and regardless of that, there's a lot of wind out ahead of this over western, let's say the southwestern portion of Van Zandt County right now. So there's Maybank where we um, had some wind damage reported earlier. Really windy in Malakoff, Tinsley. Okay, thank you for that. I'm not surprised to hear that at all. And you'll have much more of that coming before it subsides, I think. Y'all are a good ways out ahead of this. Yeah, Keonis, this is all really west of Tyler, good ways west of Tyler, at least for the time being. The question really has been throughout the early morning hours is how this is going to all act, and how it acts is going to have an impact on what we see later on in the day. But I think we will get this. It is moving a bit more southeast as opposed to due east, so we will get this. We will get this across and into Smith County, I think, and areas north and south of Tyler. Before it's all said and done, it is moving in this direction. You can tell the tornado warning polygon there indicating how it's moving kind of northwest to southeast versus due south or due east. But that would line up with this getting into the Smith County area eventually. Now, the state that it's in by that point is still subject to speculation, but it does look like it's definitely moving in this direction. No wind, no rain, wind, weather. Okay. Sirens going off in Van, Kylie. Okay. Thanks for that. Yeah, sirens in Van. Thanks, Allie. Thanks for that, Brandy. Just got to Canton. Okay, Christopher. Canton, Ben Wheeler, and Van all got the sirens up and going. Well, okay, good. Better to have those, like we said. The more lead time we can give people on stuff like this, the better. It's early. A lot of folks are just kind of getting going. Long weekend, kind of get your legs under you after that, and so I'm glad we've got hopefully a little bit better warning for folks on this stuff. School's out for a lot of people, most people out now, so our days are a little bit disoriented from what they would be, a couple of weeks ago. All right, so let's look back on this thing again, see where we are. So again, especially the straight line wind concern out on the leading edge of this. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in this area from Tool back over to Log Cabin and Gun Barrel City. Again, when we're looking at the at the Doppler piece of this, we're talking about winds here that are blowing out away from the radar side. The green stuff is blowing back in toward the radar side. Okay, so we're looking for these areas where there's a tight difference going on. This just looks like all outbound. But this area back in here towards Maybach, Gun Barrel City, something to definitely be watching. There's a lot of stuff going on in there. The radar beam also gets progressively higher as you move further away from Fort Worth, so it can make it a bit confusing. A lot of lightning and pretty loud in Log Cabin. Okay, that's what I would expect, Tinsley. Thank you for that. It's good to hear, though. Very windy as well. Yeah, Jim, I've seen some up to ping pong ball size hail reports out of this thing back further to the west. So that's not surprising that you heard that. Yeah, I think this area here, heading towards Murchison, Athens, that Gun Barrel City area right now, this will be a spot where we'll keep an eye on kind of that apex of the apex of that bow, if you want to call it that. Well, this area here is what I'm talking about. So we're coming up on 7:26 almost. So Weather Service has got this tornado warning set to expire at 7:30. So they'll make a determination on what they're going to do with this shortly. Look at this here real fast. All right, let's see, what are they going to do? All right, they're going to go new severe thunderstorm warning, it looks like. Stand by for that.
Severe thunderstorm warning.
Okay, so we'll run new severe thunderstorm warning until, let's see here. We'll run that until 8:30 for folks in Van Zant, Henderson, Rains, northern Anderson County. Thunderstorms located 8 miles west of Canton, moving southeast at 45. Golf balls and 70-mile-an-hour winds possible with that. So this should take the place of that tornado warning. I'm thinking that's what they're going to do here. Morning, Harry. Good to have you here, man. Yeah, so I think we're going to let this tornado warning expire at 7:30, and then they'll replace with the severe thunderstorm warning, and that'll carry us, further downstream. So now we're looking at including folks Henderson County, or Anderson County rather, I should say. And then this also brings up the fact that we hand off these storms from the Fort Worth office along this border here into the Shreveport Weather Service office. They carry them, or they take over Wood County, Smith County, Cherokee County, and everybody further to the east. So there'll be some decisions made by some different folks as the storms begin to cross this boundary here. It's always interesting. This time of year, we get into June, and we do some of these early morning things with these storms that are coming in, and the more of that northwest flow aloft, which are hard to hard to forecast. They can be tough to try to tease out. It looked like we were going to have severe weather tonight, or last night. It looked like we were going to have severe weather today. The question was it going to be a big morning deal, or was it going to be a big afternoon deal? And so it's turned into more of a morning deal. And it looks like Weather Service is also going to, I think they're going to reissue. Yeah, they are going to reissue on this tornado warning. So let's hit that here real fast.
Tornado warning.
All right, Weather Service with new tornado warning until 8:15 for southern Van Zandt and north central Henderson County. 728 storms capable of producing a tornado near Canton. Moving southeast at 30. Tornado and golf ball sized hail. The potentials within that. So let's get back into this Canton area real quick. And I think that's going to be this area. So here's Highway 19. I think it's probably going to be this area here, south of Myrtle Springs, west side of Canton, west-southwest side of Canton. If there's something there, that's where it's probably going to be at. So we've got sirens going off in Canton, Sherry. That's good. Thank you for that very much. So that's, yeah. With this being said, let's kind of review our safety tips here that we talk about during these situations. Centermost part of the building that you're in, you want to be on that lowest floor. Want to be in a small interior room. Those are obviously better. Closets, things like that. Something with a smaller profile to it. Okay, we don't like the really large rooms, the gymnasiums, auditoriums, things like that. Something with a really long stretch of roof. Bathtubs, heavy blanket, throw that over the top of you, hop in the bathtub, a good place to be. We want to avoid windows. That's the weakest part of any structure that you're in. And again, like I said, the large rooms, gyms, things like that, auditoriums, don't like those necessarily, things with that large span to them. We don't want you seeking shelter under an overpass. Those are not good places to be, regardless of what it might seem like. Vehicles are obviously not an option either. So the only thing I want you doing in a vehicle as it relates to a tornado is driving away from it. You need to be sure first that you know the direction the storm is going so that you know the direction that you need to go as well. Evacuate mobile homes. That includes RVs. Need to have a place that we can get to that's safe and something with a bit more firm foundational component to it. Okay, saw a lot of RVs flip this last Friday when we were out in Gun Barrel, or out in Coffee City. So we don't want to try to ride these things out there. We got a lot of folks who are living life in those now, especially on a day like today when they've had a long weekend and maybe out doing some camping and things like that. Shoes and helmets. Shoes, absolutely a non-negotiable there. Helmets, if you got them, those are great, but closed-toed shoes are critical in these kinds of situations. I know it's early, 7:30. A lot of folks may be just now kind of shaking awake and starting to get the day going for themselves, but we really need to keep those thoughts in mind as it comes to shoes and whatnot also. Okay, so back on the radar here, the new tornado warning that runs here for let's just call it another hour almost, and what we have circulation wise is it's awful muddy in there. There's a lot of wind blowing out away, blowing south, southeast, and we've got some areas where there's the potential for circulation there south of Canton. pull this back, I got some people asking about Tyler and the distance from Tyler to this thing here right now. So as far as the leading edge of this stuff, you know, we're about 28 miles. We'll call it 30 miles from Tyler, but probably less than that because the radar updates that we get are 4 to 5 minutes old. So this thing's moving, you know, southeast. And forward speed on this is about 30 miles an hour. So roughly about an hour. But you guys in van, again, y'all are next up on this as far as you know, the wind starting to kind of impact your area. Grand Saline, Van, down to just west of Edom. Athens, you've got the leading edge of this thing on your front doorstep right now. Malakoff, you've already got the rainfall in your area, but rainfall will increase in intensity over the next 15 to 20 minutes. Yeah, I just got a signal about some lightning too, Tiana. So we're 7:35 right now. We came on for the tornado warning that was issued initially for Van Zandt County and northern Henderson County. Weather Service went ahead and reissued that warning for a little bit further downstream shortly. I'm not surprised to see a lot of people without power, Eric. Yeah, that's good. Good point. We've had a lot of wind in this thing up around the DFW area earlier on in the morning, so there should be a lot of folks without power. I would expect that. So the severe thunderstorm watch that we talked about here a little bit ago going to include Angelina, Cherokee, Gregg, Nacogdoches, Panola, Rusk, Sabine, St. Augustine, Shelby, Smith, Upshur, and Wood. So that's most of the area along and south of I-20. So it covers, that's Lufkin, Jacksonville, Longview, Nac, Carthage, Henderson, Sabine, St. Augustine, Center, Tyler, Gilmer, and Quitman, Mineola, Wood County area there too. So that covers a lot of territory. As far as the rotation is concerned, I have not seen anything indicating something being spotted per se, anything tornadic. There's going to be a lot of rain in this anyway, so it's going to be hard for somebody to really know what it is that they're looking at, regardless. But I haven't seen anything from the Weather Service indicating something that's been spotted. Yeah, a lot of power lines down up towards Duncanville. Regardless of whether there's a tornado in this, there's going to be a lot of wind here, okay? So don't let the tornado or the lack of one cause you to lose focus on what's going on here. There's going to be a good ton of wind here with this thing as it swings across. So you guys in Edom and Van, you need to be ready for that. It'll be there. If not, immediately into the Van area, passing just to the southwest of Van. Let's look at the loop on this with the velocity product there. Yeah, because you can see this is where your wind's going to be at. See, from Myrtle Springs back to just Canton, right there along. Okay, that was interesting. Just took a power hit here. Huh. That's interesting. That was weird. So yeah, so this is moving in towards the towards Smith County area at this time. The question obviously becomes what's the status of it going to be as far as anything tornadic by the time it gets here. That's something we're still trying to get a handle on. Anything in there is pretty. It's hard to pinpoint. So you saw a transformer blow in Tyler. Okay, Jennifer. Well, that may explain the power surge that I got here, because that was strange. All right. So let's see here. Shreveport is taking that hand off now. It looks like. All right, looks like we have ourselves a. Let's see here. Yeah, looks like we got ourselves a new warning.
Severe thunderstorm warning.
Okay, Weather Service with a new severe thunderstorm warning. This will include Smith County, southwestern Franklin County, Wood, northwestern Cherokee County until 8:30. Weather Service with the line of storms located along a line from near Emory to near Van to Athens, going east at 45. So they're looking at 70-mile-an-hour winds and half-dollar sized hail. So that's, we'll call that a little bit larger than quarters, but not quite as big as ping pong balls. So that's still some good hail in there. But the wind, I think, again, is going to be the bigger piece of that. I'm not seeing just freakishly crazy looking hail signs on the radar here. But the wind, I think, is going to be the more pressing issue. Very high winds in Canton. Okay, Sherry, thank you for that. All right, so we'll reset the table. We continue with the tornado warning for Van Zandt County and northern Henderson County. We've got a new severe thunderstorm warning now, which is, again, for this is all really driven by this right here, that leading edge that's moving kind of east, southeast, depending on where you happen to be at. Okay. You can hear some thunder here at the house too. So that's what's prompting this. So the warnings are covering multiple counties because the impacts are going to be felt across multiple counties. So again, there's Wood, there's Smith, there's Cherokee, and I think they even clipped extreme southern Franklin County in that. Yeah, they did, didn't they? So that's kind of what we're playing with here. The tornado circulation, that potential's still in there. That's much harder to pin down. The wind is going to be much more widespread with this. Okay. And that warning that came out, the newest one for severe thunderstorms, does include Tyler, includes White House and Bullard and Jacksonville and everybody in between. Lindale up to Mineola, Quitman. You guys in Winsboro, y'all are in that as well. And like it said, extreme southern Franklin County, which is up here just north of Winsboro. Okay, so that's where we are at 7:43. See lightning and Swan there, Jasmine. Thanks for that. Pretty low clouds in Van, Grayson. All right, thank you. Let's get back into Van and let's look at what we can potentially spot, if anything, here with circulation. So if there is anything circulating tightly, anything potentially tornadic, it's going to be here. So here's Van. I'm keeping an eye on anything here. So there's I-20. It's Highway 64 here. In fact, I'll tell you what. Let's get over onto, let's go back to Omega. Let's do this. All right. So here's Highway 64. There's 279, Ben Wheeler. If we've got anything going on from a tornadic standpoint, it's most likely going to be somewhere here along 64. Okay. Here's Edom down here to the southeast. All right. I would be most concerned about that area there near Ben Wheeler. If I just had to pick something off of a map, that's where I'm gonna focus things at right now. All right, so you guys in Ben Wheeler, you guys in Van, y'all are north of the biggest concern in my mind, at least. Wind is there for you, Walida, between Van and Ben Wheeler. Okay. I can hear some thunder here now too in Tyler, distant, but it's there. So again, if we're in that Ben Wheeler area or southeast of south and southeast of Ben Wheeler, I want to be mindful of that. You guys in Brownsboro, keep this in mind. You folks in Edom, keep that in mind. It doesn't mean that we don't have some significant wind that it's going to swing across, places like Van and whatnot. But I think right now, this area along 64 is where I'm most. Where I'm going to keep myself most alert to the tornado situation. Again, though, if you're in a mobile home, if you're in some kind of a high-profile vehicle, if you're in an RV, this wind is going to sweep across from west to east. So if it is you're in, is situated in more of a north-south fashion, that's a lot of surface area for that wind to really hit on and butt up against. Okay, so I would really prefer you not to be in anything that's not tied down significantly. Just put it like that. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, so the severe thunderstorm warning again contains folks in Van Zandt County. The tornado warning, I should say, contains folks in Van Zandt County and northern Henderson County. The severe thunderstorm warning includes folks Smith County, Wood County, and then everybody back, everybody north and south of Tyler, basically. Hale and Canton, Sherry, okay, thank you. Grayson's got a strange looking sky color. It's probably green, I would think, or it may be green. Sherry, what's the size of that hail, if you don't mind, if you can tell from where you're at? I don't want you to get out there and take a head injury, obviously, but if you can tell what it is, estimate it to something like a quarter or a ping pong ball or a golf ball or a $50, that would be great. We can let the Weather Service know. They'd like to know that. Greenish sky? Yeah, that's what I thought. That greenish sky is the hail aloft. So you'll see that green sky. You know you got some pretty good hail up in those clouds there. A lot of damage in Canton, Crystal. Okay. Some reports of that. Yeah, probably wind damage. It's all moving kind of east-southeast as the movement on this thing. Let's go back to scope and pull this off, and we'll show you here's a loop real fast. I'm trying to juggle a few things here, so just give me a second. No problem, Sherry. Thank you. I get that. Hail and Emery, Tammy. Okay. If you got a size, that's helpful. If you can safely, if you can't, I totally get it. So, no worries either way. Looks like it's midnight in Brownsboro. I get you, Chloe. I hear that. It's getting dark here, for sure. Back on. Got it in Van Victoria? Okay. Hails in Ben Wheeler, Chelsea. All right, thank you for that. That all lines up. If I'm trying to spot hail in this kind of a situation, I'm focusing probably in this area right here. And let's see where that's going to line up pretty well to where I'm hearing folks talk about hail. Yep, 64, Edam, west of there. Dark green, black sky overhead between Brownsboro and Edam. Yep, that's Blake. That's what you got, man. You got some hail. You got a sky that looks like that. Hideaway's not in the path of that tornado warning, Shannon, but Hideaway is most definitely included in the severe thunderstorm warning. So most all of Smith County is in the severe thunderstorm warning. At least Tyler and Chapel Hill and White House and Bullard, Noonday, Lindale, Hideaway. Pretty crazy wind, Josh, in Canton. Okay. That'll start to let up here in the next probably 10 to 15 minutes. Rusk County, Trevor, they'll probably end up with a warning at some point. It's going to take a while. Weather Service isn't going to pull a switch on that quite yet. They're going to let things kind of play out further upstream, and then they'll decide on whether or not they need to go with a warning for Rusk County. The easternmost part of Smith County is not included in this warning for the time being. So Troop, Overton, you guys not involved in it, but the western 3/4 is. Tornado warning, yeah, the tornado warning for Van Zandt County does continue until 8:15. So we'll revisit that here real quick. Storm capable of a tornado located near Van or 11 miles southeast of Canton. Moving east, 40. So let's get back in here. So this is maybe south of Van. If there's something there, it's going to be south between Van and Edom at the moment. There's going to be a lot of wind there, regardless of if it's circulating or if it's just straight line. Now, Lisa, not a confirmed tornado. I haven't seen a confirmed tornado so far out of all this. This has been radar indicated. Sirens in Athens, Mariana. Okay, thank you for that. So if we've got anything there, it's going to be south of Canton, or south of Van, I should say. Sorry. So here's I-20. The city of Van really is up here north of the interstate. I think if we have anything, it'll be down further to the south. Let's get back over to Omega. Yeah, so here's 314. There's I-20. 314 comes into Van on the south side. So if we've got anything there, it's going to be back. And this 314 area, for the Mother's Day tornado we had a couple of years ago, that tornado ran up 314. If you'll remember, in cross Van, across the interstate, across Van. But this, if there's anything going on there, this is going to be south of I-20. Hail starting in Edom. Hey, Kim, okay, thanks for that. A lot of power outages. Yeah, Murchison, Ashley, I'm not surprised. And you'll see quite a bit of power outage reports as this wind thing swings across, regardless of anything tornadic. Good deal, Wendy. Hail in Edom, Sissy. Okay, thanks for that. If you can estimate size, that would be great. If you can't, I totally get it. No worries. So we've got the leading edge of this wind starting to swing into western Smith County now, based on what I'm seeing here from the reflectivity. There'll be some good wind in there. Lindale, you guys get buttoned up. This is on its way. Again, not tornadic, but wind. More expected. And that hail looks a little bit more organized now than it has of late. See that over here. And it doesn't look quite as impressive. Yeah, it does. So you got hail southwest of Van. You've got hail near Edom, west side of Edom, down to Brownsboro. Hey, Angie, good to see you. Edom's electricity's out, Kaylee. Thanks for that. Chandler's out of power, Jennifer. Okay, thanks for that. Not surprising. Not much wind here in Tyler yet. Not wind northwest at 1 mile an hour right now. No rain here either, by the way, but it's getting really dark. Coming up on 8 o'clock, 7:58 here at my place. We're just a couple seconds of delay. You bet, Ryan. Yeah, so if we've got anything rotating, it's going to be there. And this is that no man's land for the radar. We're getting out on the edge of what the Fort Worth radar can. I mean, the radar can see a long ways. The question becomes, as you get further away, is what's the quality of what you're seeing and what's going on below it? Because by the time the beam gets this far out to the east, it's running 7, 8, 9,000 feet off the ground. So there's a lot of stuff that can happen beneath that layer where the actual tornado could be doing its thing. So it gets really hard. There's a lot of speculation when you get this far out from that Fort Worth side. And consequently, the same problem arrives when you get that far out from the Shreveport side, and we flip over to the Shreveport radar here in a bit. So it's hard. Miles, you got dimes and van. Okay, thanks for that. That's good to know. Appreciate that report right there. Still moving more east southeast as far as the track goes. So again, here's as we hit 8 o'clock. Here's the look at this over the last hour or so. You can see this generally a wind threat, I think. So we got P's right now in Brownsboro. Is that what I saw? Yeah, P size in Brownsboro. Thanks for that, Judy. I saw you as well. Appreciate it. So this thing tracking kind of east southeast. There will be some embedded areas where we've got some more concentrated rotation. But the more widespread issue is going to be the strong straight line winds, 50 to 60, maybe 70 mile an hour winds there, potentially P size and Edom. Thanks, Sissy. I see you there. And then the heavy rainfall. So they've had a good amount of damage in the DFW area from this earlier on, from what I can see here, from just kind of perusing. So the tornado warning officially continues until 8:15. So that gives us, about 13 or so minutes left. Martin's Mill, no power money. Okay, thank you for that. Been Wheeler, got your heavy rain. Yeah. No power in Bethel. Pretty good wind there, 314, Cindy. Okay, thank you. I'm not surprised to hear that, by the way. Rain is in Chandler. Gotcha, Alice. Thank you. All right, so let's look back and see kind of where if we can spot anything that looks suspicious. It's awful hard when you're out this far. I mean, this little pocket here. The question is, what's going on there near just south of Chandler? Is there anything going on there or not? It's really hard to say. Siren's going off in band again, Kylie? Okay. Yeah, south of Van. That's what I was talking about earlier. Although, if that's getting back into the Van area real quick. But the way this thing is moving, it's that circulation is probably going to be moving. Probably has moved off to the southeast. Sky's pretty green in Chandler, Jessica. Yeah, that's going to be the hail. Sideways rain in Grand Saline. A lot of power outage. A lot of power out, and Jenny says in Van. Yeah, a lot of power outages there, and that's most likely just going to be from the straight line winds. Same thing for you guys, Rachel. And Edgewood, Jennifer, I see you. Pitch black in Chandler, Christie. All right, I see you there. So at this point, with the way this thing is moving, I mean, you could sit there and isolate on this area, southwest of Chandler now, with what could be some circulation there. But this thing again is going to continue to move. And I've yet to see anything that has actually produced. It's just been more of a radar indication, and so the Weather Service, it rightfully so, is going to issue those warnings because of that. Better to have folks in a safe place and not need them there than not have them in a safe place and need them there. It's kind of the thing with the sirens, better to have them and not need them than need them and not have them. Yeah, Matthew, it's going to get darker in Tyler before it gets lighter, man. Hailing to Edom off 314, Rachel. Thank you. Gotcha. Some decent thunder here in Tyler now. Some of my TV friends here. Heavy marble size tail between Brownsboro and Edom. Okay. Yeah, Emily, you'll have more of that thunder than not here for a bit. Thanks, Keith, man. Good to see you, bud. Tracy, it's all moving kind of east-southeast. Here's a loop again real fast. Just got to get folks reacclimated. Pitch black at Emerald Bay. You guys got power there yet, Dina? Good grief, y'all got a good hefty storm there on Thursday night. Strong in Alba Golden. Okay, sideways rain there. Gotcha. So the rain's going to pick up here substantially in Tyler in the next probably 15 to 20 minutes, if it even takes that long. It'll start raining before then, but the heavier rain is going to be back out west of town. So, and the wind's going to pick up a good amount too. And we could see some, you've got some hail in here. Not so much really now near Van. The hail looks like it's more south down towards Edom and over to Brownsboro. That's where the hail is going to be at. So still 8:15 the expiration time on that tornado warning for Van Zandt County and northern Henderson County. I've yet to see anything that would remotely indicate sighting of anything. This has all been radar indicated. But this area down here along 64, there's Redland, there's Midway. Maybe you got something there, maybe you don't. But if we've got circulation, that's a pocket that kind of just looks a little bit suspicious to me. Well, stay inside there, Bonnie. You're good where you're at. Eric's saying a big roll cloud. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that at all. That looks kind of creepy too when you look at it. Um, yeah, there'll be a big roll cloud on the leading edge of this stuff coming in. If you've got where you can see in each stretch of sky, you probably will notice that just rolling up on it. Thanks, Tracy. I got you there. Wind's picking up north side of Chandler. Give your hubby my best, please. So the tornado warning continues for another 6 minutes for Van Zandt County and northwestern Henderson County. Severe thunderstorm warning, though, is much more widespread, and that includes folks, everybody really from just south of Jacksonville through Tyler up to Mineola. And that's going to be mainly for this straight line wind potential that's going to punch in. Pea-size tail, and okay, thanks Megan for that. Pea-size in Van. Marbles east to Edom. Yeah. Wind just hit Flint on Lake Palestine. All right, Kim. Wind's still calm here at my place. We're on the south side of Tyler, there near the Broadway Square Mall. So it's still pretty quiet here, but I think it's that calm before the storm, so to speak. Peas in Brownsboro. Thanks, Amy. I see you there. Yeah, Weather Service feels like at least 70 mile an hour wind possible with this bow as it's coming into Tyler shortly. So I really, if you're in anything, any type of a high profile situation, whether that be an RV or a mobile homes, things like that, we want to be sure that we have a safe place during something like that, because that wind is going to sweep across kind of from west to east. And it's going to probably do just some power outages with it. We've had a decent amount of rain the last few weeks, last few months, so the soil is a little bit iffy. That's going to mean trees and whatnot, limbs, things of that nature. So you add a 70 mile an hour wind to that, even a 50 mile an hour wind to that, and you're gonna have some issues there. So, hey Patty, good morning to you. Glad to be here. And you can pretty much, where this big gradient is, see how we go from kind of those greens to the yellows to the orange to the red. There's going to be a lot of wind when the rain ramps up quickly like that. Lights flickering 26, 61, and 31. So yeah, you're out west of Tyler. Krista, thank you for that. And that's right where I'm talking about here. This is in that pocket. So here's the Tyler Airport right here. Okay. There are the runways. 31 west. There's Chandler. 64. This is 26, 61 right here. So that lines up right where those winds are. Power's out. Power's out in Walton. Okay. Jasmine, nothing tornadic. I mean, that's been visually confirmed. Tornado warning continues for another minute and a half officially for Van Zandt and northern Henderson County. Service is going to let that tornado warning expire at 8:15. So that's good. 33 mile an hour at Emerald Bay. Thanks, Jeff. That's good. Appreciate that much, man. Still a calm wind here in Tyler. 77, 2.73. So it's sticky. So we will lose that tornado warning here. There that goes. We keep the severe thunderstorm warning goes. Josh, you're thinking definitely 70 mile an hour plus northeast of Canton. Wow, man, that is a lot of wind. Thanks for that, man. Appreciate that. Strong winds, Lindale Hideaway, Jonathan. Okay, thank you. You're right there in that window, so that makes sense. Wind's really going to start to pick up here in Tyler shortly on the south and east side. It's just about here. Wind's already picking up Wood County. Thanks, Lindsay. So we're at 8:16. Severe thunderstorm warnings are what we're working with now. Wind just picked up in Gresham. Okay, Jennifer, thank you. Just as it is here in Noonday. Stacy, I'll give you some. You want some info? Well, severe thunderstorm warning for Smith County. 60 to 70 mile an hour winds. Weather Service is holding off on the tornado warning for now. Considerable severe, though, coming with this, regardless of anything tornadic. So one thing that we struggle with sometimes is people don't pay much attention unless they hear the word tornado. And that's unfortunate because strong straight line winds can do plenty of damage and have killed plenty of people over the years because a tree fell on a house at just the right spot, or it fell on a car or a power pole, or something got flipped because the winds got under it. So we want to pay plenty of respect to these things, regardless of whether there's anything tornadic or not. And if there is anything tornadic, you're going to be hard pressed to see it anyway, with all the rain and all the moisture in the air. It's just thick as soup out there right now. So just be in your safe spot and let this thing ride through, and we'll be around. But I think we will have power outages out of all this. That will be something we're going to have to deal with probably in quite a few areas. Power's out in Quitman. Okay, there, Sarah. Thank you for that. Hey, Candy. Yeah, it is. I bet it is dark in Lindo. It's going to get darker before it gets lighter. Coffee City, Frankston area, Foster. You guys are going to get some hefty wind here shortly, and a lot of rain too. Nothing tornadic at the moment. I know y'all are still pretty keyed up from Thursday night, and I get that. So we'll just ride out this storm, and we can pick back up the cleanup process afterward. Noonday's looking windy, Connor. Really windy. Looks like you guys are in the midst of a bit more of that wind than other parts of the county are, at least at the moment. No power, Stallion Lake Ranch. Well, winds well over 35 to 40, Tiffany. Okay, thank you for that. You guys are up west of Lindale, Stallion Lake Ranch up there on 20. Well, it's coming. If it's at Stallion Lake Ranch, it's not far from you guys in New Harmony, Tracy. Yeah, Savannah's windy, very windy for sure in noonday. Okay. Samuel says 60 plus mile an hour, 5 miles north of Jamestown in northwest Smith County. Tree tops are snapped off. Okay, Samuel, that's good to know. Thank you. Weather Service said they are going to hold off on a tornado warning at this point. This is the Shreveport office as they take the handoff from the Fort Worth office, but they are keeping a very close eye on things. And there are little spots, as you've seen me kind of look at those over the last hour or so, little pockets where there seems to be some better rotation, but they're moving pretty quick, and they have yet to produce anything. So that's a tough spot for those radar operators and people at the Weather Service office to be at, because it's not the best of radar coverage to begin with, and then what you do have is hard to determine, is there anything there that's worth warning on or not. So the strong straight line winds are going to be, I think, the more widespread problem, and that may be where they end up going towards, depending on what they see from reports. Bob, got the winds picking up in Bullard. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, yeah, the right side versus the left side, Jesse. Thank you for that. That's good to talk about. Okay, the right side of the radar over here, where I've got the cursor at, this is our velocity product. So we're looking at what are the winds doing. Are they blowing away from the site, or are they blowing toward the site? And this is the radar site out of Fort Worth, by the way. So the box on the left is just the general reflectivity. This is what most people would look at on their phone or whatnot, that you see this on TV or you've seen it over the years. This is just showing you how strong is the rain, is there any hail, that type of thing. So I'm just kind of looking at this split screen here to keep an eye on some things. Tori, you got hail in Flint? Okay. Any idea on size of that? That'd be good. If you can't, I don't want you going out there and putting yourself in any kind of danger. You can text me, Tori, if you need to on that. So, Hideaway Lake, Mona, just a lot of heavy wind and probably some hail too in there now. Well, no, the hail's, it looks maybe you could have a little bit of hail, but it looks like better hail potential up between Mineola and Lindale, and then south of I-20. So we'll have some hail, it looks like, coming into Tyler here potentially, based off this radar imagery. See all this purplish color in here? That's probably hail. But that wind is kind of arcing. Let's pull the 2 box off and go to this single box here. So got a drawing tool. See how this is kind of arcing back to the south? So there's going to be a lot of wind in here pushing that out. Winds picking up here now, up to 17 gusts. Highest wind speed 21. Gust to 30 is 33. Yeah, winds picked up here quickly in South Tyler. And I've got a neighbor next door with a sizable tree, so if I'm seeing 33, you can bet we're probably at least 40. So we had quarter-size hail reported noonday here just a little bit ago. It's 34. Yeah. Oh man, we're losing some. It is dark as pitch outside here in Tyler now. Holy smokes! Wow, that's impressive. Thanks for your video, Tori. I got you. So this wind pushing through South Tyler now. You guys in the eastern side of Smith County are going to have this thing pick up on you pretty fast. Let me look real quick at the 5-minute obs from the airport and see what they had. They got a little bit better vantage point there. They got that open tarmac out there. Huh, not that much wind. I'm not sure what to make of that, but anyway, okay. Just going to look at it. So heavy rain moving through. This wind, Chapel Hill, White House, Troop. You guys be ready for 50 to 60, 70 mile an hour winds out of that. In fact, let's do this too. Let's get over and let's just go to Shreveport from here. So let's see here. Yeah. Here that comes. All right, stand by. Weather Service issuing again here.
Severe thunderstorm warning.
Okay, new severe thunderstorm warning. We got a wind speed of 36 miles an hour here at the house just a second ago. So now we're due west at 26. New severe thunderstorm warning for Smith County. That's going to run for 70 mile an hour winds and up to 1.25 inch size hail. So that's going to be, we'll call it ping pong ball size just about, or maybe it's just a shade smaller than that. So this will be Cherokee, Gregg, Nacogdoches, Rusk, Smith, Upshur, and Wood. 9 until 9:30. 8:26 Weather Service with a line of storms from Quitman to Tyler to Reese, moving east at 40. So again, 70 and $half size hail. That's right. I was drawing a blank there. So again, new severe thunderstorm warning up to 70 mile an hour winds and the $half size hail there. So that runs for us till 9:30. So this will include the eastern side of Smith County that was not already included in the warning earlier. I've seen up to 36 mile an hour here at the house. And again, like I said, I'm protected off to the west slightly. The heavier rain is just now starting to get into Smith County. our rain rate here at the house is almost 5 inches an hour, so it's not going to last that long. We're not going to get 5 inches, but it's coming down in buckets. Just all that to say, and it is dark as pitch outside. Holy smokes! It looks like midnight. That's impressive. Power's out in Flint, Jessica. Okay, yeah, we'll see power outages with this thing pretty widespread with this kind of wind. Yes, good wind too. Thank y'all for hopping on with us. Power's flickering in Flint, dimes in Flint. Okay, Christina, thank you. Power's out in the villages, Nancy. All right. Just took a power hit. Dimes in Flint. Seriously, it is impressively dark outside. I can't. I hate to keep saying that over and over again, but it is. Wow. Raining, the power's out. Or flickering there at Green Acres. Okay. All right. So the severe thunderstorm warning continues for Smith County. That's going to run, include the entire county, as well as most of Gregg County, including Longview, most of Rusk County, including Henderson, um, most of Cherokee County as well, by the way. My buddy Don Frazier on here up at Grace and Lindale, 50 plus mile an hour winds and heavy rain, Lindale. Forward some of this stuff along to the weather service real quick. All right, winds continue moving across Smith County. Rain is now up to 7.25 inches an hour, which is a lot of rain. So we'll have flooding in these prime low spots. Anything that's going to be potentially susceptible to flooding, you're going to probably deal with that. Hail in South Tyler near Academy. All right, thanks for that. Dimes at 69 and 49. Chelsea, I see you there. Thank you. Holly Lake Ranch. I see you there, Jessica. Thank you for that. So the severe thunderstorm warning is the main show we have right now. Nothing tornadic as far as warnings go for Smith County. The tornado warnings that we had earlier have been allowed to expire. Mary, we're here. We got you. Hail and Bullard by Keepersaw. These rain rates are impressive. 9 inches, over 9-inch rain rate an hour. That is something you don't see very often. Power's out 773, Murchison to Ben Wheeler. And we just lost Tyler Noah weather radio. Not surprised. The Tyler Noah weather radio transmitter is up behind the back gate of Hideaway Lake for you guys who live up in Lindale. It's a big tower there, so they take these. They can start some stuff up there, but it hits them pretty hard sometimes, especially when you got lightning. So a lot of power outages. Just be ready for that. Incredibly dark sky and a lot of rain. I've seen so far rain here. The wind here is highest I've seen is 36 mile an hour, but that's plenty. Dimes at Homeland. Thanks, Mallory. Appreciate that. So you guys are at Old Jacksonville and Rice Road in Tyler. Lindale PD, you guys are out of power. Okay, Jennifer, thank you. So we'll continue to watch this wind and rain sweep across. The worst of the wind is typically going to be on the leading edge of this thing. It'll stay windy behind it, but it won't usually be quite as impressive as it is as it's initially kind of coming through. Hail near UT campus, JC. Okay, thanks. I got you there. It is, Barbara. It feels like nighttime, doesn't it? It wasn't this dark during the eclipse, I think. Yeah, I don't think it was this dark during the eclipse. But it'll lighten up. This heavy band of rain, though, it's pretty good. It's got some pretty good width to it. I mean, it's about 10, 11 miles across, at least. You could take it back 17 miles if you want to go back to Chandler from the the light to moderate rainfall side to side. So that's a good amount of rain. Power's out, Biloxi and Shiloh Alley. Okay. Hail at Grande and Old Jacksonville. Swan's got hail. Lights out on Biloxi at the Loop. There'll be a lot of power outages related to these intersections too. And you can't really see anything when it's raining this hard anyway. So just, if you're watching on your phone or got somebody in the car watching on their phone, just be extra cautious because you're gonna miss some intersections here in this kind of rain if you're waiting on lights to show the way. Yeah, Becky, get ready. That wind's it'll catch you in White House. So again, as far as anything tornadic, no tornado warnings at this point. We're running strictly with severe thunderstorm warnings right now. Let's hop on this radar here. Be sure we're lined up with Shreveport now. So our severe weather is really kind of arcing along a line from your Quitman, or just south of Quitman, through Mineola, down to Lindale, on to Tyler, back to near White House. You guys on Lake Tyler at the boulders, anybody that's got an RV or anything of that nature, you need to be buttoned up when this thing comes across. I'm going to be seeing those pictures from Coffee City for a long time in my head, from what we saw on Friday with the Weather Service. Peas at Bullard, 69. Thanks for that, DJ. I see you there. Back down to near Jacksonville. If the wind hadn't started picking up in Jacksonville yet, it's going to shortly. We're over an inch of rain now here in Tyler, inch 02 here at the house. Probably some hail in this thing from west side of Jacksonville, like over towards CUNY, especially south of 175. You probably got some decent hail in there. Pockets, I'm hearing people talk about peas from, Tori had some peas over around Flint. Anything in this area here where this lavender shading is going to be potential for some smaller hail. Haven't seen any monster hail out of this thing. The wind's been much more impressive than the hail has been. Tyler Noah Weather Radio, by the way, is down. They are completely off the air with just full-blown static. So if you're using that to get your warnings, that is going to be out of commission here for a bit. In fact, let me let them know that. I can hear a few pings of hail, I think, on the window here. Let's see here. Let's see here. So a lot of reports of wind damage. It seems like coming out of northern Smith County. Trees over roads. Yeah, if that makes sense. There'll be more of that coming. That's going to gradually scoot to the east. 8:40 right now. Severe thunderstorm warning: Smith County, Cherokee County, Rusk County, Wood County, Gregg County. All of this entire box is all the result of this pocket right in here. And the wind that's out ahead of it, everything's moving west to east. The rain in here is impressive. I've seen rain rates of over 9 inches an hour, which you don't see that very often. Not this far north. You'll see that down on the coast. It's not quite as dark as it was 20 minutes ago. I can at least make out a little bit of daylight, but it was pitch black midnight here when this thing initially came through. One of the darker skies I've seen in a while. Yeah, a lot of wind in Jacksonville, Savannah. I'm not surprised to hear that. It'll probably pick up some more before it lessens. Not so much headed towards Lufkin, Angela. It's moving more east as opposed to southeast now. Oh, you'll be fine, Kelly. You'll be able to get down to Grapeland. Okay. Let's see here. We are. All right, stand by for this, please.
Tornado warning.
All right, Weather Service is going to issue tornado warning now for Smith County. This is going to be southeastern Smith County, northwestern Rusk County. That's going to run until 9:15. They are looking at this pocket of the storm capable of a tornado near White House, moving east at 45. So this is radar indicated. This is another little area where you got a little notch here. So let's pull up the velocity product again. It's 843 right now. So let's pull that, pull that. So you've got this area here. Here's White House. It's near Lake Tyler. It's not an area that I want to see that anywhere, but especially in these kinds of areas. I see you there. Thanks, Rusty. Yeah, Rusty's saying the loop is flooded there in front of BJ's Brew House there on the loop. Yeah, that area is a prime flood spot. So if you need to be driving out and about, if you're driving now, be very mindful of the water and the flooding issue. That's going to be a problem. So the tornado warning issued, the area near White House. This is going to scoot off to the east. You guys in ARP. This is not confirmed. This is going to be radar indicated. This is another one of these areas that has popped up, and they are there for a bit, and then they can sometimes become a bit harder to decipher. But as far as anybody seeing anything, I have not seen any reports of that. But the warning one second here. So you guys, Overton area, White House, downstream further to the east, the polygon will get larger as it moves further to the east. But the tornado warning does include the folks White House, especially east of there, over into the extreme eastern part of Smith County, as well as Wood County. Yeah, and these are going to be embedded in this gust front. They're going to be really hard to see. You may not even know it, if you're close by it, unless it were to track right over you, if it's even there. They're incredibly difficult to determine, and where they see any kind of these little notches along the line, that's going to be a more susceptible area for these things to try to spin up real quickly. So just you want to take those strong wind precautions regardless when this line's coming through, because it's going to blow hard regardless of whether there's anything spinning in there or not. So we got the tornado warning now continues. We've seen a 49 mile an hour gust at Emerald Bay earlier on. Thanks to my buddy Ross Hayes for that. We want to, and let's revisit these severe weather tornado safety measures, but this also applies to strong straight line wind situations as well. Centermost part of the building that you're in, you want to be on that lowest floor. You want to use small interior rooms, closets, things like that. Something that is smaller, and typically if it's smaller, it's a little bit better reinforced as well. Okay, bathtubs are good. Heavy blanket, grab the comforter off of the bed, throw that in there on top of you, and you got a good little pocket to hang in there. You want to avoid windows, obviously. That's going to be the first thing that's going to have any issues with it. Large rooms like auditoriums, gymnasiums, things like that, stuff that has a really high and long stretch of ceiling. We want to avoid those types of areas. Those are going to be usually more prime. The higher profile they are, the more potentially problematic they can become. We don't want to seek shelter under any kind of a bridge. Vehicles are not a good option. Vehicles are not an option here this morning, period, whether you're trying to drive just in the rain. There's going to be a lot of flooding going on here. Anything that's a prime flood location is going to be doing that as we speak in this kind of rain. Mobile homes, I don't like those at all. RVs, I don't like those at all in these kinds of situations here. With this wind, even if there is nothing tornadic, the strong straight line wind component is enough to throw a lot of these things around and cause problems. Shoes, obviously we want to have our closed-toed shoes on. If you got some helmets, that's great. If not, I get that, but we definitely want to keep our shoes something that we can maneuver around with and not have to worry so much about glass and sharp objects giving us trouble. This wind is really starting to pick up there near ARP, back to near Sinclair City. There's Oman. It's a lot of wind in there. And in addition to the tornado warning that we have for Smith County and Rusk County, we also, by the way, continue with that severe thunderstorm warning for Smith, Rusk, Nacogdoches, Wood, Upshur, Gregg, and Cherokee counties. Again, Tyler. Again, Tylenol weather radio is down for now, so if you rely on that for severe weather warnings at your place, just be aware that is down. It's all static at the moment, and will be down probably for a bit. If they took a big power hit there, which they probably did. We got spotters down towards Lake Tyler in the White House area. I've yet to see anything that's or hear of anything that is potentially producing tornadic activity, at least. Yeah, so if there's anything there, it's going to be embedded and it's going to be impossible to see. Got sirens going off in White House, Kathy? Okay, thanks for that. They shut off the sirens in Overton. Okay. So get tornado warning. This will include the city of Henderson. This is going to cover everybody between Henderson and White House. So you got New London, along Highway 64. You guys ARP down 64 towards Joinerville and Turnertown. Just need to be mindful of this thing that's coming towards you out of Smith County. Sirens in Overton. So again, we're looking at, on the right side of your screen, you're looking at the velocity product. The left side of the screen is the same geographic area, but it's just strictly the rainfall, the velocity, reflectivity, normal reflectivity product there. So Weather Service is going to continue the tornado warning till 9:15. 8:51, storm capable of a tornado located over ARP or 10 miles east of White House, moving east at 45. So that lines up pretty well with what we were seeing earlier. So it's going to be in this pocket right here. This is velocity on the right, reflectivity on the left. So the rain's moving in there. These little things can spin up right along the leading edge of this line. Electricity's out, Jasmine, East Grande, okay, in Tyler, thank you. 2-inch hail in White House near Lake Tyler. Wow. Okay, Willie, that's... Okay. Hailing at TJC, BJ, okay. Still a good amount of wind here in South Tyler, by the way. Surprised if we don't have more power outages with this before it's all said and done, even in the city. So you guys, as we get into western Rusk County, I want you guys need to be prepared for whatever this potential rotation is producing. And if it's not producing anything tornadic, it's going to produce a lot of wind regardless. Um, 60, 70 mile an hour winds potentially as they come into the western part of the county. Um, so this will be out just inside the Rusk County line between there and Henderson. Highway 64 is a pretty decent spot. But I would, yeah, sustain 40 to 50 mile per hour. No rotation there observed in ARP. Okay, it's from the amateur radio, folks. Sirens going off in ARP, Penny. Okay, thank you. Power's out in the White House, Kathy. Gotcha. Thank you. So all this stuff continues just to scoot to the east. The back end of this heavy rain is just about to move through Tyler. So I do want to mention that here real quick, and then it lets up substantially behind that. Okay, so we're on the back end of the heavier rain now, eastern side of Tyler, and then it just gets more and more impressive as you move further to the east. Looks like Weather Service, looks like Tyler Pounds had a gust of 58 miles an hour a short time ago at the airport. The wind is ripping outside now out of the north. So we got the severe thunderstorm warning down as far south as almost to Rusk. Yeah, okay. Mixon, White House, you're about to get on the backside of this heavier rain here. Give it another 10 to 12 minutes. Justin, I think this is going to do a lot to work the atmosphere over for later in the day, this afternoon. Anything of near this scope. Heavier rainfall about to getting east of Lindale now, or is east of Lindale. So that threat will subside. You guys, Gregg County, Upshur County, Rusk County, stand by. It's coming your way. All right, back on this area down 64. Let's pull the shoebox back. Oof, there's a lot of noise in there. Awful lot of noise. Thanks, Hannah. Trees on the road, 110. Towards 16 near Van. Okay, thank you. I see you there. Thanks, Bar. Appreciate that. I'm trying to look through these comments here. Thanks, Kathy. Mammatus clouds in Carthage, Jamie sees them. Okay, Jamie, thanks for that. Yeah, that's just a sign of things to come for you guys. Just kind of poking around here, Overton. Guys are Joinerville, Selman City, 64. Looks like the Weather Service is not necessarily going to issue further downstream with this with a tornado warning, at least at the moment. So that's good. That was a big lightning flash, I think. Maybe it wasn't. Mason asking, is there rotation in ARP? Well, there's rotation. There's a lot of different spots of rotation in that area between ARP and Overton, New London. You could pick a spot and probably infer some rotation there. But as far as anything that's confirmed and or has produced something, I'm not seeing that at the moment. Okay, so all right, stand by for new warning.
Tornado warning.
Okay, new tornado warning now for east central Smith County, northwestern Rusk County, southwestern Gregg County. That'll go until 9:30. Storm capable of a tornado near Overton or 8 miles west of Kilgore, moving east at 40. So I think we were just looking at that here a second ago. Weren't we talking about that? So that's going to be for this guy here. This will be up further to the north. So you guys, Kilgore area, y'all are inside this polygon, by the way. Okay. So you got two pockets here. They're right along the same leading edge of this line. So any spot here where we've got a little bump in the line there, those little bumps, especially the south or north end of them, can be kind of starting points for tornadoes. So right there along the leading edge of the line. So two separate warnings now. The one to the south, and then this new one to the north, which is the fresh one that's just come out. Power's out in Winona. Okay, thanks, Kata. So is there something there? Hard to say. Could there be something there? Yeah, could be. The hard part is determining what's producing and what's not. So in a situation like this where you've got the velocity products showing some potential areas of rotation, Weather Service is going to go ahead and issue those warnings. So they've cleared the warning, the southern warning. We now are left with this single one. It looks like. Yeah, Weather Service canceled the warning for the part of the line that was just a little bit further to the south. So we're down to one of these now. Okay. So that'll allow to kind of focus on things a little bit more concise. So we're at 9:03 now. Power's out in the White House, America. Thank you. Marbles at JSO. Thanks, Clint. Okay. Rainfall's letting out near the DPS office. That's good. Yep, so at least we can see some daylight out there now. So that's good. We got that going for us. Winds let up a lot here in Tyler, though. Kaylee, you got a tornado warning for Tyler. Probably got it for. It was probably something that just if it impacted any part of Smith County, it hit that on your phone. But the tornado warning actually does not include the city of Tyler proper. It does include Kilgore, but not Tyler, and just a sliver of Smith County. Overton, Henderson, they canceled the tornado warning there. They canceled that warning, Regina. Yeah, sirens in Longview. I'm not surprised to hear that. Typically, if they have a warning for any part of Gregg County, those sirens will go off in Longview, is my understanding, at least. But the more directly impacted pocket of Gregg County is going to be Kilgore at the moment. And I'd say also, you guys in Henderson, potentially some pretty good rotation there, or at least some strong wind indications on the west side of Henderson too, by the way, which is not to be surprised by the way this thing's moving in. So no sirens in Kilgore right now, Jennifer? Okay. Again, if you're used to getting your alerts from NOAA Weather Radio, at least the Tyler 162.475 frequency, that is down, has been down for about the last 30-40 minutes. They either took a lightning hit or had some damage at the transmitter from the wind. It could have been either one of those things. The stick for that thing is up north of Tyler, behind the Hideaway Lake back gate on the, I think it's the 104 tower. Thanks, Rontez. I see you there, bud. Sirens going off in Longview. Okay. There are no tornado warnings out for the city of Henderson proper. Okay, Rusk County, the tornado warning for Rusk County includes you guys north of Henderson up towards Kilgore. In fact, Kilgore and Gregg County is in the warning. Henderson is not. Some pretty strong winds there near Henderson at the moment. That's kind of on the leading edge of this line, so it will get awfully windy there. And the winds are starting to pick back up here in Tyler too. Yeah, sirens going off in Longview. Like I said, they typically will hit those if much of the county is involved in a tornado warning. City of Longview will do that. Gregg County, not a huge county to start with, and I think that probably has something to do with that. Yeah, Chrissy, I see those winds there too. So we're sitting at 9:09. We've got severe thunderstorm warning and a tornado warning in place now. The brunt of all this is exiting out of Tyler as far as the heavy rain goes. But this pocket from just east of Mineola, out past Horde and in that area, along Highway 80. What's that?
Tree fell down on our porch.
Yeah, I am going to continue to keep an eye though on this area near Henderson. Because there is some interesting looking wind in that area there. So you guys in Henderson, southwest of Henderson, from there's Stringtown, Price, southeast of Price, So here's 42 right here. If you're east of 42, west of Henderson there, just keep that, be mindful that could be something rotating in there. There's going to be wind in there regardless. Yeah, Elizabeth, I'm not sure about the status of the sirens there at Kilgore. Can't really speak to that. Yeah, seeing reports and seeing that now it's gone. It was there for a little bit, and then the latest scan, that seems to dissipate somewhat. So. All right, so we are going to continue to watch this area of what was some circulation there west of Kilgore. The line doesn't look to be quite as susceptible, at least at the moment. Still could be something small that tries to spin up there, but at least for now, seems as if it's that's subsided for the moment. So that's encouraging. Wind will continue to, at least the severe wind in Tyler. Weather Service now trimming off Tyler out of the severe thunderstorm warning. So they are reorienting that as we speak. So Tyler now out of the warning. Jacksonville just still barely in the warning. Rusk, city of Nacogdoches. Let's pull that out of there. Jennifer, I see that. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, Teresa, I'm not surprised to hear that. It's going to get really dark there in Henderson with the on the leading edge of this thing. You'll think it's midnight out there if it does what it did earlier. Peak size and Rusk. Okay, Kristen, thank you for that. Let's put this back over and look at a loop here the last little bit on scope. No electricity, East Lake Tyler. Okay, Julie, thanks. So the hail production overall looks like it's come down somewhat with this. So the Weather Service is going to give this tornado warning a couple more minutes, and then they may end up pulling that. And you know, this stuff, just as soon as they get going, they can get gone. So it's hard to know what you're seeing, and hard to know how long it's going to last. Typically, it doesn't last very long, and so we're just kind of at the mercy of whatever it's going to, however long it's going to last. But they do want to issue the warnings, because if there's something there, they obviously want to give folks a heads up on that. Depending on what your setup is, you know, the more lead time you have, obviously, the better. So that's why they issue these, in hopes of giving folks as much heads up and lead time as they can. I agree, Sherry. I've not seen it that dark around here in a long time. Peace signs in Ponte. Okay, thanks, Ashley. That lines up pretty perfect, honestly. All right, Weather Service is canceling the tornado warning for Gregg County and Rusk County for the moment. So that's good. So we'll be clear of tornado warnings for the time being. These things, again, they can spin up pretty quick, and usually don't last terribly long. Thanks, Gary. So we're free of tornado warnings for the moment. And my hats off to the folks there at the Shreveport office for doing that, doing what they do. It's a lot to try to juggle. Because anytime those warnings are issued, it puts a ton of things into place, and just there's a lot that goes on there besides just a warning or something popping up on your phone. There's a lot of things that are thrown into gear in those situations that we don't really consider. Me too, Marcia. Very thankful for them. All right, so severe weather as far south as Nacogdoches, not quite into the Lufkin area proper, but northern Angelina County, you guys are clipped by this severe thunderstorm warning. That will be for this line here that is marching from west to east. It's cleared Tyler now, but we got heavy rainfall, and probably some pretty good straight line winds there from just south of Alto. Back up through Rusk, probably a little bit of small hail south of Rusk, between Rusk and Alto. On to Cushing, back up to just west of Mount Enterprise, up to the east side of Henderson and on up to just east of Kilgore. You guys in Longview, you got light to moderate rainfall. You're kind of on the northern edge of what could be, the stronger core of this thing, which goes back up about as far north as Gladewater. But really, you got to get down closer to I-20 to see, I think, the more impressive parts of this complex down to Kilgore, and especially, like I said, Henderson back to the west, southwest of Henderson. There'll be some good wind potential on this, 50 to 60, 65, maybe 70 mile an hour wind gusts in here. Probably more especially there east side of Henderson. I mean, you could maybe infer there's a little bit of a bulge there as it kind of falls off back to the southwest. Doing some of this. So maybe a little bit more heightened wind potential in this area here. Okay. So along and just west of, or along and just east of 259. Call it that. And then the line kind of arcs a little bit further back southwest, and then you got this little guy down there, Cushing. Electricity's out for you guys. You bet, Michael. Glad to help, man. Absolutely, Gina. Estimated 50 to 60 mile an hour winds in that initial run over Henderson. Electricity going in and out. I'm hearing from guys in that direction. So this will be, that's where you would expect the best of the wind to be at. That all lines up. Marbles north side of Alto. Thanks, Mandy. Glendale's in the clear, Nicole. Yeah, you guys are fine. Yeah, the worst of that's past you guys in ARP, Trenton. You were on the backside of it for sure. Looks like the overall intensity on this thing has come down somewhat from where it was earlier. If you look at the color, look at the returns, how the colors we're losing more of those deep reds and seeing the overall intensity drop back, which is good. There's some kind of an outflow boundary that swept across. See this little guy here? Watch that come in. And you can see the intensity of these storms kind of. You can see the intensity of these storms responding to that too somewhat. See how they kind of fall off as that boundary sweeps across out ahead of them? That's interesting. Yeah, Neil, we're east of town, man. We're fine here. Severe thunderstorm warning continues. Again, for this thing. Up to 70-mile-an-hour winds, inch and a quarter hail potentially, but I don't think we're seeing the hail that we were earlier. So that'll include folks Rusk County, northeastern Cherokee County, southern Cherokee County, Alto, Wells, over into Nacogdoches County. You guys under severe. As far as Longview goes, like I said, looks like the intensity of the line is decreased. The further north you go, and I think this boundary that slid across helped in that process. That's all I can come up with here. A lot of wind in Reclaw. Yeah, Summer, I hear that. You're seeing what we saw, kind of a piece of what we saw in Tyler earlier. So this bodes well for Longview. You guys there not going to see nearly, I think, the strength of the storms further to the south, especially considering this area now east of Henderson. That's probably where the stronger of the winds are going to be at. You see how this thing is definitely starting to kind of bow out. So that's heading east. Sorry, that's not a good line there. So that's heading east towards Carthage. Let's keep that in mind. A lot of trees down around Smith County. Thanks, Amber. That means a lot. I appreciate it. Glad we're able to help. Power's out Winona. Okay. Gladewater. Steve, I'm not surprised to hear that, man. Hail in downtown Henderson, Elizabeth. Okay. Thank you. If you have any idea on the size of that, if there's anything you can relate it to, that would be good. Small. Okay, Elizabeth. I got you. Thank you. Power's out in Alto. Thanks, Marcia. Yeah, you guys will be out of the worst of this in Alto in the next 20 minutes or so. So just kind of hang in there. Weather Service going further downstream with new warnings now. That'll include this area from just east of Longview over towards Hallsville. So you got Harrison County, you got Panola County, you've got a northwestern piece of Shelby County. So again, up to 70-mile-an-hour winds and up to quarter-size hail. So it looks like the northern edge of this cluster has lost some of its steam. We've still got a lot of rain, though, up north of here. Look at all that. I mean, that's coming down. It's not severe, but it's good rain. And then some additional showers moving in from the west out towards Kemp and extreme western Henderson County. So there's more rain where that came from, although not the severe component that we had earlier. So take that for what it's worth. So we are at 9:30 here now, so we'll see some things kind of reset from the warning standpoint, I think. Smith County now completely cleared from severe thunderstorm warning, as is northern Cherokee County. We got the southern piece of Cherokee County that's still involved in the severe thunderstorm warning. That one will go, including Nacogdoches County, until 10 o'clock. We got the warning for most of Rusk County, as well as Panola County and that northwestern Shelby County. That'll throw us until 10 o'clock as well. That does include Longview, although the severe weather looks to me is going to be more concentrated south of Longview. Okay, so here's Longview, outskirts of Longview. I think the more severe concern is going to be really Kilgore, Liberty City, I-20, back down to Kilgore, and then on, particularly as you get into Rusk County, on towards between Kilgore and Henderson, and then additional wind potential there, about to get into Panola County now, shortly. Thanks, Neil. I heard that. Thank you, bud. Still a pretty good little breeze here in Tyler, but nothing like it was earlier. Yeah, I think so, Daniel. We should be calming down here a good bit. He's an alto 5 minutes ago, Dawn. I see that. Thank you very much. So it seems like things are trying to maybe settle a little bit for the moment. Things look much more broad than they did earlier, which is good. As far as additional severe goes, it gets really hard to reset the atmosphere after something like this comes through. Back to the point where you could expect significant severe weather potential. Not impossible, but it's a very hard thing to do. And then when you compound that with showers and rainfall that's pretty widespread. I mean, it's raining all the way up to Oklahoma, and you've got some additional showers back to the west. Some lightning in there, but as far as significant severe weather, I'm not as concerned about that, at least at the moment, considering what we've seen this morning. You zap a lot of energy out when you do this type of thing. It's tiresome for the atmosphere. Yeah, still a decent amount of breeze there, Elizabeth, in Tyler. I agree. Not nearly as much as it was though earlier, so I'm glad for that. So we'll hang here for. Let's see here. Watch these little apexes. Okay. No, Malachi, nothing confirmed, at least as of yet. as far as tornadic. I haven't seen anything on that. Okay, stand by.
Tornado warning.
Okay, Weather Service looking at this latest scan. This is east of Henderson. Okay, we were talking about these little where the line was trying to bow out a little bit, and in those segments like that, you can get these little potential spin ups. So along Highway 79, Weather Service going with a new tornado warning. That's going to include. That's going to include you guys. This is east of Henderson. All right. This does not include the city of Henderson proper. This is going to include Carthage proper, at least in the polygon. So let's see here. Tornado warning, southwestern Panola, east central Rusk County till 10 at 9:35. Storm capable of a tornado located near Pine Hill or 11 miles east of Henderson, moving east at 45. So that's for this little thing right in here. Let's go back over to Omega. Put some additional towns and communities on here. So there's Pine Hill, Fairplay. So here's, if we've got something, it's going to be in this area right here. Here's Highway 79, so it gives us a good marker. So 79 going east-west, and what is that going north-south? So 79. That Chapman Pine Hill area. Nothing incredibly tight, but still enough to potentially do something. So, and then this next scan, it looks even a little bit better. So we'll watch that. This does include the city of Carthage. So you guys in Carthage proper, this is out, west of town. As far as that circulation goes, I would say that's about 10 miles. Was that about 10 miles outside of Carthage? Okay. If we're looking at that and just trying to put some kind of a measure to it. Yeah, Gretchen, that was what you just got the warning for. So in addition to the heavy rain that's going to be moving into Carthage, you got that to contend with as well. You bet, Kelly. Thanks for being here. So the tornado warning, including extreme eastern section of Rusk County and central Panola County. Not heading towards Marshall. At least the tornado warning section of this line is not. It's going to pass way south of you guys in Marshall. You'll get some heavy rain though in Marshall a bit, and you got some decent rain in Marshall area right now, actually. Okay, just to answer your question there. Lucas, you're good in Henderson proper. You've got I think you were referring to the severe thunderstorm warning for. Tell them I said, hey, Ash. That's awesome. All right, so tornado warning continuing for folks in Panola County. If you guys are west side of Carthage, between Carthage and out there along Highway 79 to the county line, you need to be in that safe spot now. Okay, it's not really much much talk about other than that. So we're talking north of 315, right there along 79. This thing is moving pretty much at a good west to east motion. Okay. These things are not necessarily that long lasting. They're there for a couple of scans and then they can be gone. But we want to give them the respect that they deserve regardless. And so we're going to continue to keep that in mind here for the next little bit. Getting nervous down in Gary. Carolyn, this will be northwest of you guys. I don't think it necessarily is big of a concern for y'all as it is for guys just to the north of you. So hang in there. Thanks, Paige. Appreciate you. John, you guys in Kilgore, yeah, you're okay, man. You got folks in the shelter there. Um, as far as Kilgore goes, the back end of this is clearly east of you now, so I think y'all are good there. Absolutely, Carolyn. Still hear a little bit of thunder here in town. Haven't heard thunder in a while, actually. And again, as I said earlier, we've got some showers that are still and some thunder back to the west of us. Not severe, but still some more additional rainfall will come back in. And regardless of whether there's anything, this last scan doesn't look quite as impressive west side of Carthage, but regardless of whether there's anything there or not, there's going to be some good wind here that comes through Carthage. And as this line passes, it's going to topple some trees. It's going to pull power lines down. It's going to do all of those things. So just be ready for that, you guys, in Carthage, regardless of anything tornadic. Yeah, I heard that too, Gary. I just heard that. Teresa, appreciate you. Thanks. Jamie, it'll be in Carthage in the next 20 minutes. Let's say 20 to 30 minutes on that. The wind will be there before the heavy rain is. So Rosanna, no power out there where you guys are? Okay, East Loop and Tyler. All right. No power Midtown, Randy. Okay, thank you, bud. Sounds like you guys got a lot of rain too. There's still going to be some street flooding even after the rain subsides here. With as much as we got, that intensity was impressive. That felt more like Houston or Galveston than Tyler. Honestly, the way the rain was coming down. Yeah, a lot of power flickering, Georgina. I'm with you. So yeah, Weather Service, they're seeing that rotation into Carthage within about the next 10 minutes or so. So if you guys on the west side of Carthage and in Carthage proper, let's be in our safe place here as this thing approaches. So again, Carthage is inside the tornado warning. Hey, James, good to see you too, man. Thank you. Thanks, Tracy. pretty good showers out there, west side, over towards Chandler. Yeah, and some thunderstorms trying to redevelop here into Tyler as well. Again, not severe, but here's some thunder. And then there's the rain that Tracy was talking about back over Chandler, or north side of Chandler, I should say. No warnings back out west of us except for flash flood warnings. So we got the severe thunderstorm warnings in place for our area. We got the 1 tornado warning. This storm with the rotation is going to be west side of Carthage. Hail and no power in Fairplay. Not what you want there, Sarah. Sorry about that. A lot of wind, too. I believe it. Temps down to 66 here in Tyler. Hadn't been that cool in 4 or 5 days, I think. Thanks, Gina. Appreciate you being here. All right, so let's see here. Weather Service has canceled the tornado warning for Rusk County just because the storm has passed east of that area. So you guys in Rusk County not involved with it. They have kept the warning for part of Panola County going though. Let's see here. Storm located near Beckville or 7 miles west of Carthage, moving east at 45. So they're going to hold on to this thing. And we'll see how long it tries to hold itself together. Yeah, you're hearing some thunder in Edom, Sissy. Yeah, redevelopment out west. Not severe though. Okay, so after a morning like what we had, a lot of folks get nervous and. But nothing severe at the moment out that way. Yeah, Carolyn, I bet so. So you guys in Carthage need to be buttoned up, okay? This will be coming in. It's still showing some signs of rotation there. So the tornado warning continues. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you. There's rotation there, Jamie. It'll be out west side of town. I'd say out west of 149. Thanks, Tori. Power out in Flint. Okay, thank you. So let's go. We'll step off of the 2 box for a minute and just put the regular radar back up into play. So here's what's going on. This is the main severe producer down here. Okay, from south of Longview on through Henderson and on to just west of Nacogdoches. The bulk of this is going to pass north of Lufkin, it looks like, at least for the moment. Mount Enterprise area. Got some heavy rain Mount Enterprise area, Athena, but the tornado concern is north of you guys. I think the bulk of that's going to be north of you guys for now. Got some heavy rain though that's going to be moving back into the western part of our area, so that does that does potentially cause an issue for some flooding. So let's get back on the Fort Worth radar here for just, yeah, okay. Let's see what they're doing. All right, stand by here just one.
Flash flood warning.
Okay, so the Weather Service with a new flash flood warning, and that's going to be for western Henderson County. And that will run until 1 o'clock. Between 1 to 2 inches of rain have fallen. Flash flooding expected or ongoing. Flash flooding is expected or is already ongoing. So it'll be for this area of heavy rainfall from back over near Kaufman down to Kemp and then on to just west of Gun Barrel City. So as this comes across, it's gonna drop some heavy rain in there. So nothing severe again, just the flash flood warning, but we don't want to undersell that either. And so if you're driving or got to operate out in this part of the area, don't be surprised with that. And there, I mean, there's just more rain continues to develop out there. Again, not severe, no severe warnings out there in this area, but we'll be watching for some potential hail in there. I think this little wave coming into western Henderson County, it'll be something to watch for sure. It's impressive too to see development occur that close behind this. I will say that. So let's get back to these guys here. So this Carthage area is kind of the center of attention for the moment. Tornado warning continues there for central Panola County. All right, so we're at 9:53. Weather Service has canceled the tornado warning. It looks like they just made that move. So that rotation was looking pretty broad and not as tightly confined, which is what you need for something tornadic. So good news there. So we clear the Carthage area, clear Panola County from tornado warning for the moment. We are left with severe thunderstorm warnings. So Frank's got some pretty good momentous clouds there in Paxton, south of Carthage. Thanks for that. Appreciate it, Frank. If you guys see anything interesting, by the way, or whether it's damage or compelling clouds or hail or anything of that nature, feel free to email that over to me, doc at docdeason.com. We can forward those pictures along to folks here on the pages, whether that be Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, and or to the Weather Service. They're always interested to see things that are of that nature. So glad to pass those along to them. But I like seeing that stuff, and it can help in the damage assessment process too. After all this is passed and things are being looked at and cataloged and whatnot, so it's always a good spot to throw those to, if you don't mind. I appreciate that, and I can then, like I said, pass that stuff along as we need to the Weather Service. So again, doc at docdeason.com. All right, so 9:55. We're free of the tornado warnings for the moment. You bet, Carmela. Appreciate you being here. Off of the 2-box then. Yeah, some heavy rainfall now, getting back going into both north and south of Tyler. Seeing some good wind there in Nacogdoches, gentlemen. Thank you for that. You guys in Nacogdoches, you're going to get your dose of this here. West side of town's already getting it. Central and east side of Nacogdoches will get it here shortly. And then you guys in Henderson are seeing probably a heck of a dark sky off to the north of you, but not too much going to happen, I think, in Lufkin proper, besides just some scattered showers, believe it or not. Okay, Christy, thanks for that. Strong winds in Garrison, Courtney. Okay, thank you. You bet, Gene. All right. Maddie, as far as any additional storms today, we'll have some additional rain. We've got some thunder and whatnot trying to get itself going back to the back over, central Smith County, and showers back over Henderson County and southern Van Zandt County right now. As far as severe weather goes, that's yet to be fully flushed out. Typically, behind something like this, like what we saw this morning, the atmosphere has a tougher time recycling itself. It's not impossible, but it's usually a harder thing to come by. But we've got some decent daytime heating still ahead of us, and a lot of moisture still in the air mass. Although the dew point's down about 10 degrees from what it was earlier this morning, which indicates it's not as moist as it was. So I don't rule it out completely. Weather Service is going to go ahead and push this thing a little bit further downstream with a new warning. So let's look at that real quick.
Severe thunderstorm warning.
Okay, severe thunderstorm warning now for, we'll call it southwestern Panola, southeastern Rusk, Nacogdoches, western Shelby, central Angelina, and western San Augustine County until 10:45. Storms located along a line extending from 6 miles east of Mendon to near Nac to near Hudson, moving southeast at 35. So 60-mile-an-hour winds and quarter-sized hail. So this is down. The warned potential is down from what it was earlier. We were looking at 70 and up to, what was that, $half sized hail earlier on. So we've come down somewhat overall, which is good. They are going to clip and include Lufkin in there. So here's what the warning looks like. So that does get you to St. Augustine. It gets you down the northern half of Sam Rayburn country and back up to center and into extreme southern Panola County. So you guys in the city of Nac proper, hope you're buttoned up. It's in the building as we speak, okay? And that'll continue to move from northwest to southeast across town. A lot of trees down here. It gets awful thick in this area and further to the east. So that could be some issues there with that. And then also on the flip side of that, the wind gives you, the trees give you a little bit of a break from some of that wind. So there are more things to fall down. So you guys in Rusk County proper, Henderson, y'all are clear. Jacksonville, Rusk, Y'all are clear. Alto, you guys are clear. Okay. Wells, you'll be out of this here shortly. Let's see here. Where are we on this? Is that a new one there? Yeah, that is a new one. Okay, so we'll hit this.
Severe thunderstorm warning.
And latest severe thunderstorm warning. This will be, let's see here. We got southeastern Harrison, Panola, northeastern Rusk, north central Shelby, extreme southeastern Gregg. I'll add the extreme on there because there ain't much of Gregg County in it. Till 10:45, severe thunderstorm warning. Storms extending from Tatum to Carthage to Timpson, moving east at 35. Quarters and 60-mile-an-hour winds possible with that. So that'll be for this section of the line here. This doesn't include Longview. You guys are not in the box for this. Just like Lakeport, Easton. Yeah, I mean, just the extreme southern tip of, southeastern tip of Gregg County. Lakeport's even north of it. So down to Backville, Carthage. Heavy rainfall into the western half of Carthage. About to be in the western half of Carthage. This rain back in here is really heavy. I hit the wrong button there. Sorry about that. Yeah. Did not pick up on that. There's the heavy rainfall. Sorry about that. Oh, man. So we got the heavy rainfall again, kind of a reset. Severe thunderstorm warning for extreme southeastern Gregg County, just the southeastern tip of it. That extends back down south to Beckville, on to Carthage. Heavy rainfall there. Carthage down the west side of 59. And then somewhat of a little break. And then southeastern Rusk County, another area of heavy rainfall from Mount Enterprise back south to the west side of Nacogdoches. Again, very heavy rainfall there. Moving into Nacogdoches, the city proper now. On down to the north side of Lufkin, west side of Lufkin, I guess now. And further back to the northwest, showers there from White House back up to Chapel Hill, 271 where they split. Not much going on right now in Tyler, at least. We've had an inch 69 here at the house since this rain got going. Absolutely, Carla. And then showers redeveloping back over southeastern Van Zandt County, stretching back up towards just the west side of Lindale. Nothing severe out here in this. Flash flood warnings going on western Henderson County, but that's it. Only severe thunderstorm warnings we have at the moment are across these eastern cells here. Pea-size west of Knack. Okay, thanks, Marshall. Appreciate that. So if we got P's out of that, that's good to know. Really good to know. North and Act 2, Lori. Okay, I see you there. Thanks, Lori. So overall, this thing is not as, doesn't seem to be as strong as it was earlier, and seems to be a bit more broken as opposed to a consistently solid line of just heavy rain and exceptionally strong wind. This thing seems to be kind of separating itself a bit, which is good. It still doesn't look like it's going to do nearly, although there is some development there over Lufkin proper. See some heavy rain there in Lufkin now. You're kind of on the tail end of this, though. Brittany, as far as Sabine County goes, I mean, you guys are gonna, y'all are still a, but I don't necessarily, I don't think it's a slam dunk that you're going to have the kind of severe weather that we had further back to the northwest of you. With the way this thing seems to be trending. Power's out now. It's since 9:30, Jim. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Lori. Glad to do it, Caitlin. Glad to do it. Power's out, North Loop by the old Chicken Express in Knack. Okay. Thanks, Tessie. Thank you much. Let's see what this looks like here again. Bet he's got some thunder in Brownsboro again. Yeah, overall, this seems to be behaving itself a bit more than it was earlier, which is what we want to see. Thanks, Cameron. I appreciate it. So I tell you, I think given that, I'm going to step away here for a few minutes, and we're going to monitor this, and we'll post warnings and information as we need to with the still imagery. But I've got to go take a look at some damage here around our house here from some wind related stuff that happened earlier on. And I know we are not alone in that, but I know there's going to be a lot of wind damage to be assessed today with this stuff, especially over Smith County and points back further to the west. We'll come back in and talk as we need to this morning and throughout the day. We were kind of had to abort the daily 7-day forecast this morning because the storms blew in and kind of threw everything into a spin. So suffice to say, shower chances this week. Thunderstorms in there as well. Some potential for additional severe weather possibilities in the week is also. but we'll be here to watch things throughout the day as we need to. We'll come back in if we need to do that live with tornado warnings and/or significant severe weather potential as the day wears on. Okay, thanks for being a part of what we're doing here. It's an honor to come on and walk through storms with you, and we appreciate that. Follow us on the other social media platforms if you don't already. We do stream live when we go live to Twitter, to YouTube, obviously on Facebook. We don't stream live to Instagram. That's a bit harder thing to do, but we will post stuff there. Not as much though as we do to the other sites there. So again, thanks you guys for being a part of this today. We'll come back and talk as we need to a little bit later on this morning. Safe travels to you guys, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks for watching this live broadcast from Doc Deason's Weather. When weather's at its worst, we're at our best. Doc Deason's Weather, the calm in the storm.